What's up and welcome back to Hoof Hub. Today we are dealing with a back right foot on a Holstein cow at a dairy farm at a broker's place that I've talked to you guys about before. This is the place that buys and sells cows. They buy them from the States and then sell them to these Canadian poor guys that are poor and everything because all the stuff you guys are stealing from us Canadians. But I'm joking, I love you guys. But anyway, this cow has an issue and she's got a sole ulcer on her back right foot, and we're gonna do our best work to fix it up for her and put a block on her, and we'll get her on her way. We're gonna start with, obviously at the top edge of it there, it had already blown out, so I'm just gonna remove all that loose horn. I'm gonna try and remove it as best as I can, get it fixed up right, and you guys will see that sole ulcer come out. And this cow actually didn't walk in with a limp at all, but I knew something was up because this is a farm that only really sends in problem cows. So I knew something was up, and sometimes it's an eeny, meeny, miny, mo on picking the foot with the problem in it. But this worked out, and we'll pick it up, and we will fix her up. And by the time she left the chute, I'm actually very optimistic about this cow. She will be in no pain at all. In fact, she barely seemed to be in pain at all now, but within a couple weeks, this sole ulcer will be healed and she will be good to go and produce for another farmer and be treated well. And so, thanks again for watching, guys. I appreciate it. I mean, I don't appreciate it. Someone has a question.
I do have a question concerning our lovely American neighbors, which we do really appreciate you guys. Do you find there are differences in practices due to, I guess, not laws, but regulations? Do you find that frustrating?
For hoof trimming?
Yeah, for like hoof trimming, like stuff that you may not be able to use that they can use, or vice versa.
Yeah, no, there's certain like products that the Americans can use because they don't have such restrictions on antibiotics and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's a similar, we trim the same, we do all the same stuff, but Americans are allowed to use a little bit more potent drugs because they don't test milk as aggressively as Canadians. But Canadians, we can barely use anything on these feet to actually help them aside from the stuff that I'm using. Whereas Americans can give them lidocaine and put lidocaine on the raw foot and all this sort of stuff to help them out. And they don't test against it whatsoever, which is a little bit, I mean, pick your poison. I wish we could use all that because it is actually better for the cow and for the pain. And Americans can use it, but it's not as much tested in the milk at the moment. And so it's kind of one of those pick your poison type of deals.
What is lidocaine, for those who don't know?
It's what the dentist shoots into your gums when they're trying to pull out a wisdom tooth. It makes it so that you don't feel that section of your... Usually you put a tourniquet around any area and then you'd shoot lidocaine up into a vein or some sort of thing, and then they wouldn't feel that section of their foot or whatever you're working on. If you were going to do a surgery on a person's foot, you'd probably shoot lidocaine into their foot. Or I don't know how it was surgery. Anyway, I'm getting out of my... Lidocaine's a painkiller. And yeah, so it's a, like I said, it's, I wish we could use it for the cows' sake because they wouldn't be in as much pain, much at all. Whereas the Americans are allowed to use it, but then maybe it's affecting the milk. Maybe not. Who knows? It's hard to say. I'm not a scientist or anything like that. I'm just a hoof trimmer. But it's like anything. If you give drugs to a cow or if you give drugs to a person, it's going to affect how they operate and what they produce. So I really appreciate you guys watching this. I hope that was somewhat clear at all, but it's a bit of a comparison to American versus Canadian cows. And honestly, if you guys have any questions about this in the comments, let me know. I will try to answer all the questions to the best of my ability. And if I don't know the ability, I will ask a friend of mine that ships cows back and forth, and I can talk to them about any issues with dairy cows between countries. So again, talk to me in the comments. I love to reply. We'll talk to you guys later. See ya.